Well, Sean, my man, how's it going?
Good man, good. Yourself?
Aye, only the best, Sean, only the best. Basically, what this call is about, Sean, is just me understanding basically where you're at right now, what you've maybe tried in the past, and where you're actually looking to get to. And then at the end of the call, we'll be able to determine then if I'm actually able to help you, and if not, I'll be able to point you in the right direction. How's that sound to you?
It's good, mate. It's good.
Awesome, awesome. So let's jump straight into it. Talk to me, Sean. What's actually motivated you to jump on the call with me here today?
Just seeing content online, people make money online, and I think I would rather do that working for a laptop rather than going to my job. So I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to reach out and see what this was all about.
Mm. And why would you sort of, be interested in doing that then, like making money from your laptop as opposed to the job you're working right now?
You're not having to get out of your bed every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning and go wherever you're going out in the cold. You can work for a laptop, you can work for your house, you can work abroad. You see people fucking working on the beach. So
Yeah.
all that appeals to me rather than fucking having to do the run of the mill fucking 9 to 5, restricted to those times, and you have to keep going. And do you know what
Mm,
I mean? I would rather be able to have the flexibility to do a job remotely, if you will. It
mm,
just looks like a far better environment.
yeah. And like you touched there that obviously you're working your 9 to 5 and like this isn't actually allowing you to sort of have that life that you're after, right? Like, working from anywhere from your laptop on a beach or wherever. So what is it that you're actually doing for work at the minute, Sean?
I work in it's like a big factory, so basically just drive forklifts all day, just fucking pallets onto the back of lorries, just 10 hours a day non-stop.
10 hours a day, man. Damn.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that for?
Probably, I've always been a forklift driver, so but I've been in this job now for maybe about 4 years. 4 years.
Right.
So it's like a big Amazon factory type thing.
Mm, mm. Well, walk me through it then, man. I mean, 4 years and working in the Amazon factory, that's a pretty long time. So how's that been for you?
Isn't that saying it isn't that bad? I mean, it's a job. It pays relatively okay. A bit boring. Just sitting in a forklift fucking non-stop back and forth all day. So it's not really stimulating. Um,
Mm,
but I just get maybe over the course of the last 6 months, I've just been thinking, fuck this, man. I can't be fucked with it anymore. I'd rather try something, do something different, something that would something that maybe can gain my interest and make me more interested in doing something. But in there,
yeah.
you're kind of just buttons go on that shoe, you're away, and it's
Mm.
shite. That's shite.
And like by shite, right? Do you mean boring, like you said earlier, or is there actually something else going on within the job then that's sort of making you feel this way?
Just boring, just very, very repetitive.
Mm. And by repetitive, do you just mean working those 10-hour days, or is it just the actual nature of the work itself?
Just the nature of the work, going to the same place every day, big cold fucking warehouse. It's just every day is the same. There isn't a different day. You just do the exact same thing over and over and over. I mean,
Yeah.
it isn't it relatively difficult in a
Mm.
sense as you're just sitting in a fucking forklift, but it does get fucking boring.
Yeah. And like in terms of what you're saying, it does get boring, right? Like, how does that sort of sit with you then, Sean? That it is boring. Like, whenever you're sitting at work and you're sort of thinking of this, right? How does that sort of sit with you?
No, the best, but it's like you just need to get on with it. That's the never stuck in at school, so that's the job that I've landed in, and you just need to make do in it. There's no really an option out there. There's no like progression or something. It's just that's a job and that's it.
Mm. Mm. And like in terms of why you've actually jumped on the call today, then is it that you're looking sort of, into the online space just because your job's boring? Or is there any other reasons sort of within your job that, or maybe even outside of your job that you want to, sort of jump into the online space for?
No, there's no anything other than what I see online of people, young people like yourself, even older people, just working remotely, making good money, and basically they can, if they want to travel while doing it, they can. At this
Mm.
moment in time, I don't have the options, so I was just looking and hoping to try and get involved and try and have give myself that kind of freedom that I could go and do all these things.
Yeah. And like right now, Sean, is it essentially just that repetitive, boring job then that's not allowing you to have that freedom then, is that right?
Well, obviously, yeah, basically, aye, because you can't just go away and take the forklift with you and do it on the beach, can you? So I'm either if I wanted to do that, I'd need to quit the job. So, and
Mm.
obviously I can't quit the job because obviously I get bills to pay. So I need to look for an alternative. And the alternative is working online or working on online fucking making money. It's the only way that you can actually give yourself that freedom, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, and like that freedom that you talk about, Sean, right? That you've mentioned a few times there. I mean, what does that freedom actually sort of look like to you? Like, is it like, actually just having like more time or being able to travel or maybe having more time with your family or like what's the story?
Just more time and being able to travel while still making money.
Mm. And like right now then, how is it sitting with you that you're not able to actually do that? Like, sort of live the life that you want.
I suppose you can look at MD, you can look at anybody making money and be envious of it. So I would say you're envious, maybe slightly jealous that other people have got the opportunities
Mm,
to go and do these things and I've not got the opportunities.
mm. And like that jealousy that you talk of, is that because then you're seeing all these other people whilst you're sitting in this job driving this forklift, whilst they're all traveling and living this dream life of yours?
Basically, yeah. I
Mm,
don't see any difference from me to any of them. So yeah, you're jealous of it because, but don't get me wrong, these people have went and fucking made the steps to get there. So that's why I've reached out to see if I can try and make inroads into it.
yeah. And just to clear up then, just so we're on the same page, I mean, in terms of difference then, Sean, you were saying that you don't really see a difference between these people that you see online and in terms of yourself. I mean, what do you mean by difference?
They're just normal people. They're no, well, if you're going off of what they're saying, they're just normal people. Some of them didn't do well in school. Some of them didn't have any experience getting into it and picked it up and learned it. So I don't see there being a difference between me and them to actually go and even achieve a fraction of what they've achieved.
Mm, mm. And yeah, I get where you're coming from. So what you're saying is that there isn't actually really a difference between you and those people. The only difference is that they're actually living this life that you want to live, basically. Is that right?
Basically, yeah.
And that jealousy then, Sean, does that come from a place of frustration, maybe? That you are stuck in this job whilst they are out here living this life? Or what's the story there? How are you feeling about that?
I mean, I would say it's for you. You're frustrated. You're frustrated because you're no getting the opportunities that these people are getting. So there's an element of frustration there. But as I said, they've went and made the steps towards getting there.
Mm,
So it's hard to be, I say jealous, maybe the wrong choice of word for myself, but it's hard to be jealous of somebody that's actually took action, went and took
mm.
action and got themselves out their situation that they're in and got to where they are.
So is it more about the fact that you're maybe frustrated about the position that they're in, or are you more frustrated with yourself that you're not in that position?
Frustrated in the position that I'm in, know what they're in, that their life's nothing to really do with me. I'm just more frustrated in the position I'm in.
Mm, mm. Okay, and break that down for me, like more in detail then. Is it just because you're in this job, Or like why do you feel like you're
It's a life.
frustrated?
It's not the job. It's a lifestyle. I'm frustrated that I don't have that lifestyle.
Mm,
I'm not
mm,
talking about 15, 60K months. I'm just talking about the lifestyle that they're leading. Do you know what I mean? They seem happy. They're traveling. They're going places. That's more. It's more my own frustration that I'm in the position that I'm
yeah,
in.
because obviously that's something that you want to do then. Is that safe to say, have that freedom and that happiness that these boys online have?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. Right, okay. And like based on everything you've told me then, Sean, like I get it that this job does feel repetitive. You're becoming frustrated with yourself that you are stuck in this job and that you're not sort of living the life that you want, right?
Yeah.
But like, is there any sort of positives about the job then? Any factors that you do enjoy?
The wage on a Friday.
Wage on a Friday, right? So if the wage on the Friday is the only thing that you're enjoying, then Sean, do you see yourself actually sticking out this job then much longer, or what's the story?
Mm, if I'm forced into it, then I've not really got a choice. But as I said, there's possibilities. I can see possibilities online, so I don't see myself sticking out much longer. Well,
Mhm.
if I have to, I will, but I don't want to be there, so I'm just going to do my best to try and get out of it.
Well, that's good that you're coming with that mindset, but tell me, like, Sean, when did you sort of realize then that this wasn't maybe the long-term solution for you? Or are you only coming to this realization now?
I've probably always known it, but I've never really. I mean, I have seen stuff online now, but it's never really came to my head that right, go and try and do this. It's maybe over the last 6 months it started to really kind of keep going round and
Hmm.
round in my head. Give it a go, give it a go. So if you don't try, you'll never know. If I don't make changes, nothing's going to change for me.
Hmm. Like, in terms of what you said there, Sean, like, it was going round and round in your head. Like, was it like your thoughts were going round and round in your head, or was it the fact that maybe this was becoming harder to ignore, the fact that these people are living this life and you're not? Was that going around in your head?
Wasn't it more so these people living the life that I want, but the fact that I didn't want to be in the job that I'm doing, I wanted to do
Mm,
something different, experience different things. So that's what was more going round in my head. And then obviously the more content you see, yourself,
mm,
you on the phone, it's every time you flick a page up, it's something else, somebody else online. So it was just always kind of in your head, and then your mind
yeah.
starts drifting to what if I could do that? What if I could go here?
Mm. So, like, based on what you told me now, then, and what you told me earlier, these thoughts that you've been having, would it be safe to say that that frustration has been going around in your head then?
Aye, potentially, yeah. Been frustrated in my own circumstances more than anything.
Mm, mm. So, based on what we spoke about here, Sean, in terms of sort of where you're at right now, tell me that your job is making you feel frustrated, right? That you've been living this repetitive, like you've been working this repetitive job, right? And you've been sort of been feeling like this for the last 6 months that you actually do want to get out of it, right? If, say, for example, nothing happens for the next 6 months, nothing changes, what's life going to look like then in another 6 months for you?
Potentially more frustrated. Nothing's
Mm.
going to change if it's still the same, but you can potentially more frustration and being stuck in where I am. So, it's no good. It's no good.
And is that something that you'd want? Is being frustrated a nice feeling?
No, definitely not.
So, what do you feel like needs to happen then so that we can avoid feeling frustrated going forward?
I need to make changes. I need to actually go and try something. It's no good just thinking about it. And thinking about it's not going to change the situation. I actually need to make the change or have a go at
Mm,
something or apply myself to something in order for me to change the fucking course of my future.
mm. You told me there that you need to change. Something needs to happen. But does it really? I mean, at the end of the day, you get a paycheck at the end of the week. It's not like this job is. anything insane. It's just, driving a forklift. It's not physically demanding. So do you need a change? Or can you just stick it out for another 6 months?
Right, listen, you could just stick out for the rest of my life, do you know what I mean? But is that sticking that out for the rest of my life going to fulfill me and give me some of the things that I would like to have in my life? No, so I can't see myself sticking out. I mean, at the end of the day, if I try something and I was to fail at it, I could just get back to that. It's no like I couldn't go back to doing something like that. There's plenty of jobs for
Mm,
it, so it's
yeah.
no like we can always go back if need be. But I
Mm,
think I would be more. I think I'd more be kicking myself if I never tried something. At least
yeah.
if I did, I can say to myself, "Fuck, you tried it. At least you tried. It didn't work."
Yeah. And like in terms of trying anything then, Sean, like you saying that you need to try something, make a change, but over those last 6 months that you've sort of realized that, you didn't see yourself in this long term, have you actually tried anything to make a change?
No, this is my first. This is me, my first one reaching out here.
Right. Okay. And obviously 6 months is a pretty long time, to not have reached out, not have tried anything. So what do you feel like's been stopping you from essentially trying anything over those last 6 months then, Sean?
I don't actually know. I don't actually know what stopped me. I don't know what actually prompted me to fully reach out there. It was just the content came up and I thought, fuck it, I'm going to reach out to this. It's been in my head. I've been thinking about it, but I've never actually done anything. It's maybe a lack
Mm,
of awareness of what to actually do or who to actually approach. You know what I mean? So I've just fucking took a stab in the dark and reached out and see what it's all about.
In terms of like not knowing sort of where to start, is it that there isn't enough information out there, or that there's just an overload of information out there online?
Now, there's a million and one things in there that you could do online. So there is plenty of information out there. Could potentially go down the road and looking on YouTube, but what you actually going to learn through YouTube, it's no, I mean, it'll give you maybe a slight insight into something, but what you actually going to learn from it. If it was
Mm,
achievable through YouTube, people would just do it all through YouTube all the time, and I don't think that's the right course of action to take if you're actually trying to go and try
mm.
and be successful at something.
For sure. Like I get where you're coming from. That's completely understandable. I mean, YouTube essentially itself isn't going to get you sort of, a skill, or it's not going to teach you what you need to jump into the online space. But for you then, Sean, what do you feel like you would need then to actually learn, like a skill, or actually jump into the online space as opposed to the YouTube that you've seen?
It's like learning anything. I couldn't drive a forklift, but I had to go and learn. I had to go and do a course of sorts to go and do it. It's like anything. It's like
Mm,
anything you try and upscale on anything, whatever job you're in, you go and do another course or do you know what I mean? You learn. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
you, that's the only way to do it.
So for you then, like learning and essentially like getting like a course, the way you did with the like driving the forklift, does that work for you then in terms of learning something new, trying something new? Is that right?
Oh, 100%. You can't just pick something up and do it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it was really, really simple.
Mm. So if you sort of know, like, if you had that course then, Sean, like someone maybe to teach you, or essentially just a course to actually consume the knowledge and learn a skill, do you feel like if you had that, then you would have been maybe in the position to get yourself out of your job, be a step closer than maybe where you're at right now?
Definitely. Definitely.
And why do you feel like that?
What if I had the course? Because
Yeah.
I'd have went and learn how to do it. So if I had the
Mm.
fucking certificate or the qualification or the skills to actually go and do whatever the job requirement was. But without that, fucking no chance.
Mm. So the way I see it right now, Sean, like you knew what you needed, like you knew that you needed this sort of course or this information so that you could learn it, so that you could get yourself, to the goal that you want of leaving your job and getting more time back, right? So essentially then, what do you feel like's been stopping you from actually reaching out for a course? If it's not the fact that there isn't enough information out there.
Question, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. There isn't one definitive thing that's why I didn't do it or why I didn't reach out, but I couldn't really put a finger on exactly why I didn't.
Mm. See, I get where I get what you mean. Some people maybe don't know what's sort of been holding them back. But a common thing that I see, Sean, with people heading into the online space, and I can actually relate to what you're saying right now because I sort of had the same struggles. I actually realized that I wanted to change a year before I first reached out. And I didn't even realize sort of how much time I was wasting, right? But what was stopping me was actually the fear of failing. I was dealing with a lot of self-doubt. I didn't feel like I was good enough to actually, you know, jump into the online space. And I do see a lot of people struggling with that same self-doubt. Or maybe they just don't believe in the online space itself. Do you feel like any of those things sort of
Probably
apply
the
to you?
probably the latter what you said there. There's you know yourself, there's a lot of fabricated nonsense on social media, so I never really thought of it like that, but you potentially probably hit the nail on the head there. It's probably the latter one there, the fear about the online space is maybe know what it says.
Mm, mm. So, like in terms of that fear, then, what does that actually look like for you then?
Just exactly what you said. I mean, maybe just a slight, maybe a little bit of negativity surrounding
Mm,
the online space and are you going to get scammed? Are you not going to get scammed? Or not so much scammed. I don't mean that somebody's going to just, but I mean, is what you're going to go into, whatever you, whatever you, whatever route you get down and go into it, is it going to actually give you the necessary training
mm.
to actually go and deliver? Or is it just going to be bog standard? And then you're really still back to square one again, aren't you?
Yeah. And like that negativity that you talk about, surrounding the online space, maybe the fear of it like not working out, where does that sort of originate from, Sean? Is that from personal experience or maybe somebody else's experience?
No, it's not for personal experience because I've never tried anything, but
Mm,
you do hear a lot of stuff about people fucking try to get involved in stuff, invest their money in things, and then it doesn't pay off. Maybe it's not paid off down to their lack of commitment, maybe, but you do get people that do invest into things and it just isn't what it says in the tin.
yeah. Yeah. So would you say it's more around just like the stigma then that surrounds the online space in
That's
terms of,
the word,
right?
that's the word I was looking
Okay.
for, stigma.
Okay, okay, perfect. I mean, man, I completely get you. I mean, the online space is a scary place for whenever you're starting off, right? But like in terms of what you said there, I remember you mentioned about people sort of seeing results based on like the amount of commitment they put in. Is that something that you said? Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, well, you maybe find that somebody's maybe invested into something. I was meaning by it was maybe somebody's invested into something and then
Mm-hmm.
they've actually applied themselves and put the correct amount of work in.
Mm,
And then that's why it's no work for them. And then they automatically jump to the conclusion, oh, it wasn't what it said in the tin. But in reality,
yes.
it's been the effort that they've actually
Mm.
contributed to it.
So would you say that fear then that you're talking about, it's not actually that fear of commitment. It's more about the fear of actually finding the right solution for you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's it.
Right. Okay. Okay. Tell me, Sean. I mean, say for example, you were buying a new car, right? And with a car, there's 1,000 different options out there, right? How do you feel like you would choose the best car for yourself to suit your needs?
Depending what you needed the car for. Do you just need a runner? Do you need a bigger car for a family? Or do you need a 4x4? So you
Mm,
basically need to work out what was correct for you. Do your due diligence on. the makes and models and maybe read reviews and then base it off of that.
So it'd be safe to say that you essentially take time and do your research then and what would be best suited to you.
Yeah, basically. But otherwise you would potentially go and buy something that you don't, it's no fit for purpose for what you need it for.
Exactly, because yeah, there's a lot of cars out there that wouldn't be fit for the purpose of what where what you're actually looking to get. But then, Sean, if we tied that back to the online space, then right, you said if you were to choose a car, you would just simply do your research. So in terms of the online space, could you not have done your research on all of these things that are out there? The same way as with cars, there's also 1,000 different things you can head into the online space with. So could you not have just done your research and actually chose the thing that was best for you based on your needs?
You could, but again, it brings me back to the stigma around the online space. Is the stuff that's getting peddled out genuine? That's when you start double questioning things. Well, I mean, if you were to go onto Instagram now and scroll, everybody's making 10, 20, 30K a month, but are they making 10, 20, 30K a month? I don't know. Are they actually doing what they're saying they're doing? So it brings you to, it's maybe more of a stigma thing around social media that you
Mm,
sometimes don't know what you're getting duped. I mean, I know you can do drop shipping. There's people say they're making this out of drop shipping, then you hear other people saying, oh, drop shipping shite, and so
mm,
on and so on. So, like, obviously, you, you're right. You should have done a bit more research into it. But
yeah.
again, but what doesn't matter, well, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what you research. If you were to research dropshipping, it's going to say dropshipping's the best thing since sliced bread. If you
Yeah.
research sales, they're going to say it's the best thing. So ultimately, what it comes down to, you could do all the research you want, but
Hmm.
ultimately, you're going to need to come down to making a decision for yourself. And
Yeah.
this is where it's led me to. It's probably
Yeah.
maybe not the wisest options of way I've did it, but
Mm. Because I want to touch on what you were saying there, Sean, in terms of you've seen a lot of people on social media, right? Saying that they're making 10, 20, 30K months, right? How do you feel like those people on social media actually prove the fact that they're making 10, 20, 30K months? Because obviously their bank statements aren't enough, right? So how would somebody like that prove that they actually are pulling in that sort of money?
but they couldn't prove it to the average person like myself. What they got to do? I mean, I could generate a bank statement now and say I'm making 20, 30K a month. It's no
Hmm.
difficult to do, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, it seems as if I'm bringing a whole lot of skepticism into the online space, and there is people making fucking X, Y, and Z. Let's not be fooled. It's no all bullshit. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
But again, it's social media perception. I mean, you know yourself, you fucking out with anything to make money online. Like you can go into a fucking click onto social media, go into Facebook, click a female's fucking page and scroll through her photos. You go and meet her in real life and she's got filters on all of their photos.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I get where you're
it's
coming from. Yeah, but like,
ultimately when it comes down to like social media, and I may be wrong, I don't know. Sometimes you've got to make a decision on your own thought, as in, right, I think this is genuine, and enter it as it is genuine, and then
mm,
take it from there. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the things. There's no guarantee. You can't get a guarantee, so you
yeah.
just can go right. I've got a vibe. If I feel that's something maybe I could do, high ticket sales or DM setting or whatever. So
Yeah.
sometimes you just go with your gut feeling.
Yeah, because in terms of going with your gut feeling, right? Because obviously you did tell me there that you can't sort of have a guarantee in terms of what to choose, like what's actually going to get you the results that you want. But in terms of what you said there about doing your research, right? Like whenever it comes to cars, like even if you've done your research on the car that you were going to buy, I mean, do you have a guarantee that that car is not going to blow up or that you're going to drive
No,
down the road and the car's not going to fail? Do you have a
no.
guarantee?
No, the,
Exactly.
the the only way you can get a guarantee with a car, if you buy brand new, or it's still got warranty. So
Mm,
that is a slight guarantee. But if you're buying second hand car with no warranty, what's the most a garage will give you? 7 days, 14 days or something like
Yeah.
that. Some of them don't even give you that, so no, you don't get a guarantee. But
So would you
again,
say
and
then,
again, that brings me back to the same thing. You need to go with your gut feeling. It might be wrong, but I mean,
yeah,
I'm not a mechanic, so when you look at a car, it fucking so nice and shiny, but that doesn't necessarily mean what's under the fucking engines.
yeah. So would you say then, in order to be able to go with your gut feeling then, to sort of improve your chance of making the right decision, you could actually do research and give yourself the best chance at guaranteeing yourself results, if that makes sense?
Yeah, if you put in a bit of research, it would give you the best chance. You know what I mean? It would maybe narrow it down for you. In an ideal world, you would like to know. In an ideal world, if I knew somebody that was doing X, Y, or Z, then that's something you can gauge off of, and they can go,
Mm.
somebody you actually know personally, and go, listen, this does fucking work. So,
Because ultimately, Sean, like that sort of fear that you've had, that skepticism based around the online space, where has that got you up until this point?
nowhere.
Mm. And I mean, going forward then, Sean, where's it going to get us if we continue to have that skepticism around the online space?
Absolutely nowhere. I'm still going to be in the exact same place as where I am.
And is that something that you want, Sean?
No,
All right. And why not, man?
because as I've told you, it's fucking boring the job I'm doing. I'm not getting the
Mm.
lifestyle that I want to be living through doing the job that I'm doing. I can't just
Yeah.
work for anywhere in the world. So
Mm. Because right now, Sean, the way I see it, right, there's two versions of you. There's the version of Sean that we've seen for the last 6 months, right? The skeptical Sean, the one that has the stigma around the online space that stops him from actually taking any action and getting any closer to his goal. Then over here, we have a second new version of Sean, the version of Sean that actually pushes that skepticism aside, does take action, and does get himself the best chance at actually getting out of his job and getting to his goal. Going forward, man, which version of yourself do you see yourself being?
obviously the one that's given myself the best chance.
Mm. And why that version as opposed to the version of yourself that we've
Because
seen over the last 6 months?
it's not actually got me anywhere, is it? It's just kept me sitting
Exactly.
there.
Exactly. So in order to actually get yourself somewhere then, as opposed to where you have got yourself right now, what do you feel like you would need then to be able to overcome that fear, that skepticism, and get yourself closer to the goal that you want to achieve?
Take a gamble on myself and take a gamble on it. That's basically it. I mean,
Mm.
go with my gut instinct, as I keep saying, and actually fucking take a chance to go and try and do something.